Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Little Head Homestead. Today we're going to be doing something about this pumpkin harvest. I have way too many pumpkins in the basement, so I think we're going to make some pumpkin soup and then do some preservation. I'm starting by just poking some little holes in the pumpkins with a knife, and then what I usually do is I put them in the microwave for a couple of minutes just to soften the skins so that I can cut through it easier. I have a hard time cutting through pumpkin rinds. I don't know if I'm just weak or if everybody struggles with that, but this is what I do to compensate a little bit. And then we'll get started on making the pumpkin soup. I use my Pampered Chef blender. It's kind of like a Vitamix where it can heat the soup as well as blend it, and it just saves me a little bit of time. But you could use a pot on the stove and an immersion blender, or chop up chunks and put it in like a Ninja blender or food processor and then heat it up. This is just what I do. So I'm just chopping up all of the pumpkins. I'm just going to cut them in half and then scoop out the innards and then chunk them up to put in the blender. The first couple I cut were really nice and healthy. This last one, the stem had broken off of, and you can see that when the stem breaks off, the inside kind of gets nasty. So I'm just gonna toss that in the compost. Definitely don't want to feed that to my family. Definitely don't want to feed that to my chickens. Don't want to make anybody sick. So that goes in the compost that doesn't have animal access. And then from there, we're gonna try to get all the insides out and chunk it up to put in the the Pampered Chef blender. So these are all the scraps that I'm going to be giving to the chickens. I hear pumpkin seeds are particularly good at helping with the natural immune system of the chickens. I don't really know the truth behind that or the research behind that, but I know that they can eat it and it doesn't cause any harm. I'm just going to do a little bit of cleanup. I like to clean up as I go, so there's less to do later. My favorite thing to help clean up is using a bench scraper. And then it just gets like every little scrap off the countertop, so I don't have to waste a lot of paper towel or anything like that. And then the blender is just heating up, and then it's gonna start blending the pumpkin down to a puree. So I made, let's see, about 4 cups of pumpkin puree from 2 pumpkins, small pie pumpkins. And I have a whole thing of scraps for the chickens. Supposedly pumpkin seeds are supposed to be good for their digestive health, and they're like a natural dewormer, they say. I haven't done any research on that, but I know that it's not bad for the chickens, so I'm gonna give it to them. And then with 1 of the cups of pumpkin puree, I made some pumpkin soup in this is the Pampered Chef blender. I like it because it does like the soup and the heated puree functions, so I can make stuff right in it and I don't have to turn on the stove and dirty another dish. So I pureed the pumpkin in here, and then I also made the soup in here. And then I put 1 cup in a freezer safe little Pampered Chef silicone thing, and then I did 2 food saver bags of pumpkin puree. The food saver bags, obviously they don't have as much air in them as the Pampered Chef silicone cups do, so they don't get freezer burnt, so they'll last a little longer. But I know I want to use the 1 cup to make either some like pumpkin bars or pumpkin muffins or something coming up here, so I just put it in there for now so that I'm not wasting the plastic bags. But I'm gonna try the soup because it smells amazing, and I hope it tastes as good as it smells. It looks really hot. Maybe I should have tasted it before I poured myself a whole bowl, but I have a feeling that it's gonna be pretty good. Oh my god, that's really good. So I put a cup of pumpkin puree in here, and then I did some chicken bone broth. Then I did a bunch of seasonings: celery powder, half an onion, garlic powder, of course, salt, cumin, paprika, and a little bit of cayenne pepper. So that's everything that's in here. I didn't put any like black pepper or anything like that in there. And then, oh, and a little bit of salt. So, because this is low sodium, I like to add the salt myself so I can salt it to what my family prefers. So this is kind of a really thin soup. You could probably thicken it with some cheese or something like that. There is cream cheese in here too. I forgot to say that. Did I forget to say that? So you could thicken it with like some mozzarella cheese or something like that. Cheddar cheese wouldn't be bad either. You could put some like bacon bits in it. That would probably be really good. Croutons on top would probably be really good, or like cheese crisps on top would be really good, just to add like a little heterogeneity. Is that how you say that? Anyway, a little bit of extra texture in there. So I'm gonna go eat this because I just tasted a little bit on my finger and it's really good and I'm really hungry. It's really cold outside. I think it's like high of like 18 degrees today, but I really want to get this out to the chickens, and sometimes I just like a jolt of cold. Does anybody do that? I like, you know, that people do like those cold plunges and stuff. So I'm just running out without my jacket on to give this pumpkin scraps to the chickens. I think they're gonna love it. I already gave them a little bit of oats today. Here you go, guys. It's hot, really hot. I'm too impatient to wait to taste it. It's really good. I'm gonna put my recipe in the comments or description. I'll decide on that later. I think I'm gonna put it in the description. And then, yeah, I'm gonna go finish this up. It's delicious.